What's up, guys? Today we're doing an operator guide on how to play as Dokkaebi with a rework and Operation Override, talking all about Dokkaebi, how her gadget, the Jago Payload, works, and how to rank up and frag out while playing as Dokkaebi. First, let's get to the loadout, shall we? So, a couple decent options now. Honestly, it's kind of a tough call. The XK23 assault rifle, the MK14 EBR, and the Boss G. We're gonna roll the Boss G. The Boss G is definitely not a gun for Dokkaebi. It's more of a vigil gun. So we're gonna kind of roll this out. Here's what I run on it, but I don't recommend running that personally. So your choices are now the XK23 and the MK14. So for PC players, I would recommend probably running the DMR. The DMR is going to treat you a lot better in terms of making lines of sight, and you know, it's just gonna punch a little bit harder. You can shoot it a little bit quicker. On console, I definitely think that the gun to use is probably the XK23. It's a little bit slower of a gun. That's why I said it should probably be more of a console thing, because it will have a little bit of recoil. So definitely not a gun that I would personally would main, because it hits really hard. It's 49 damage, it has 35 bullets, but it does recoil a bit horizontally towards the later half. And I would just trust the DMR a little bit more personally, especially when you have the SMG-12 as backup. SMG-12 is an amazing gun. Dokkaebi does have access to a GON 6, which is nice, but the SMG-12 when paired with the MK14 is such a good combo. I've been really trying out the XK23 to see if I really like it, if it's a good gun. I'm not a massive fan of the gun, and it's only on Sens, Aurora, and Dokkaebi, who all have good DMRs, so that's why I'm like, I personally love DMR. So, and the option between smoke grenades and EMP impacts. Most of the time I'll bring EMP impacts just so I can like burn some type of util, or it can help open up a wall. But smokes could be handy if you are trying to play in a little bit more aggressive and smoke off a head hole while you try to push in, or something like that. All right, now let's talk about Dokkaebi's ability, the Jago Payload. So you'll be able to call whoever you want, like so. It will blow up and deal 40 damage if they don't answer the call. Otherwise, it will set off their phone, and it'll leave a pool of fire if it does go off. The defender will be able to turn it off, however, if they choose to answer, but that will leave them vulnerable to actually getting killed. We're just doing it really quick, like clear house with AI. See, there's Valkyrie. We're gonna call her and we're gonna show you guys what it does.
Jago Payload empty.
Never mind. That being mean to me. So let's call Malusi.
Sending a payload. Jago countdown on.
You need to call him pretty regularly. Phone blew up. Let's call it Valkyrie, who's to my right. Let's call the Vigil in a second. You won't get all your calls instantly at the start of the round. It does take time to get each call. I want to try to call Alibi really quick.
You should have been payload working its magic.
You have dropped the diffuser. The diffuser has been secured. Your location has been compromised. Diffuser is online and active.
I heard Alibi. Let me find her.
Op 4
So you'll be able to call anybody that you want when you have them spotted. You'll have 5 calls. Just start with 1 at the start of the round, and it'll build up to a maximum of 5 throughout the round. If they answer the phone, then nothing will happen. It'll just make some audio. They'll have to answer. They'll be defenseless in those moments, which you guys will see in some gameplay coming up, how that can be handy. And if they don't answer it, well, then they blow up. They take 40 damage. It leaves a pool of fire where they're at. If they're not moving, that fire is going to hurt like Tachanka fire, and it's going to do considerable damage to them, which could definitely potentially kill. So they do have to kind of move. So basically, Dokkaebi is going to be used for hunting down people that are kind of isolated, and just, or like when your teammates are pushing somebody and you know who they're going for, you can call that guy, distract them. There's a lot of audio, so your teammate's gonna know exactly where the person is. And if they ignore the call, well, then they take quite a bit of damage. Now let's get to some gameplay. All right, now we're gonna go over some Dokkaebi gameplay. Playing as Doke on Casino. I don't even see that guy, that's funny. This is the XK23. I'm gonna be using it in the vast majority of these clips because I really wanted to trial out this gun. Peeking over, Casino, going into Cigar, shooting through the soft destruction and finding one. Does a ton of damage. Here, I popped the call on the guy behind the desk. I hear him. He's having to answer the call or stand up and defend himself. I was ready for him to stand up. He barely turns the call off, stands up, doesn't realize that I pushed in so deep. We're gonna plant down in a 1v3 now. Pull my angle. Light up the Aruni. We find the Solis. Try some wall bangs. This gun does a ton of damage. I call the Aruni. I hear him to like straight across from me. We do find him. Pretty simple and clear. One interesting thing with Dokkaebi is if you call someone that is down, obviously they can't really answer their phone. So when it blows up, it will definitely kill them. Here, this guy is Rook. He does manage to pick himself up, but he doesn't realize that his phone is really going off. He tries to get ready for another fight, and the Dokkaebi call actually ends up killing him. Oh my god. Here, Dokkaebi again, going through Casino, went through code check. I heard someone across the way. Smoke throws a smoke canister at me, but it doesn't matter. So here, a guy does this weird run out on Casino, and he's waiting for people to repel, and it's really hard to kind of deal with him. So I let him, I call him just to kind of see what he's doing. He shot somebody, which means he hasn't turned his phone off. I know I can repel out really quick, but he's answering his phone. So basically, you can just distract your enemy for like a second or two while you do something aggressive towards them. Here, I was about to call, but I heard someone flanking me, and we take him down. Hit a call on the last guy. As I run down, I keep calling him so we can isolate where he's at. I hear him in the room across from me. Blackbeard gets a melee on him and finishes him off. So Casino again, going into the first floor. No idea that guy was there, but we get the kill. So one thing that's interesting about Doke now is your ability to hack enemy cameras at any range. It doesn't matter, like through walls and everything. You can hack cameras at any range, and you can see and use, like if they have maestro cams or like whatever like that, you can use them against the enemy team, and it will only be active for about like 30 seconds, and then it'll go away. But you can hack the phones pretty regularly. You kill one. Yeah, I can hack that phone from here, but I choose not to. We get that call off, so we're running in because it's still going off, which means he hasn't turned it off yet. And he doesn't really have time to defend himself because he waited a little bit too long while turning that phone off, and we do get the kill there. Dokkaebi. Here, pre-firing. The XK23 is amazing at pre-firing because it's slower fire rate paired with 35 bullets. Popping a call, hacking a phone, checking their cameras. Here I call another guy. I listen to who's in the room next to me. It is an MP5. That's one thing that I'll do. I'll listen for the guns that are, are going to be the most vulnerable. I hear an MP5 in the room over, so I know it's probably Wamai. So I swing in. His phone's going off. I wait for it to almost be done because that means that he has to answer it or it's going to blow up in his face. He tries to answer it and dies over it. Here, an enemy's down. I swing in. We find one and another. Simple and clean. Dokkaebi is extremely strong at just like isolating individual players, and then just it's kind of like rock paper scissors. I can either let their camera like blow up in their face if they don't try to answer because they're afraid someone's going to swing them, or I can use that to my advantage, let it almost run out, and then swing them while they physically have to answer it so they don't want to take half their health and damage. Pretty good tool. All right, guys, that's it today on how to play as Dokkaebi in Rainbow Six Siege, Operation Override. Dokkaebi is a really fun operator. She definitely got slightly nerfed. I think that her call as a global ability was very strong, but now she's a little bit more targeted. She can be extremely annoying to anyone that is roaming, basically making them not really able to roam effectively. If you get called 3 or 4 times in a row, it's definitely fairly obnoxious when people are trying to take firefights with you. You have to manage, you know, turning your phone off. You don't really have that much time. And yeah, so definitely try her out. She's definitely still one of the top operators in the game, but she definitely is not where she used to be, but she's still very strong. That's it for today. Make sure to subscribe, drop a comment, leave a like down below for more. Make sure to hype up the video for the YouTube algorithm. Let me know who you guys want to see next. Peace out. Hey.